Good afternoon, Faculty Hack at Gateways23 faculty members and mentors. We have reached our day 3 of our pre-training, and today we're actually going to learn a little bit more about SGX3, which is the new version of the Science Gateways Community Institute. We'll be hearing from Dr. Hayden about that here in a moment. And then we'll also hear more about HPC-ED. And actually, my partner there, Charlie, will actually be talking about that. I'm actually the co-PI on that particular grant, and you all are going to be our very first entries. It's the very first event for that particular grant. I am super excited. It's the first grant that I'm actually named as like a co-PI on from NSF, so I'm like super excited about it. But anyway, Charlie, if you'll go ahead and push forward there on the slides, just to kind of go over. Oop, there we go.
There we are.
Just as a reminder, so we've already had some of our pre-hack training with the posters and templates and HPC overview. Those videos will be available on the site here very shortly. And then, of course, the video for today will be added to the site as well. Those can be found at the Faculty Hack Gateways event site. The link is there shown on the screen. And, of course, we'll add that to chat as well. But I do want to make a special note to let you know that the actual hackathon, see, all these was just leading up to it. The actual hackathon will be beginning tomorrow. These are the preludes. Exactly. We're going to have the actual hackathon kickoff tomorrow. I want to let all the faculty members know right now. On Friday, you will be introducing your teams. So you will be presenting to us. So you need to be ready. Hint, hint, poke, poke. And we'll also be hearing tomorrow from Boyd Wilson, a very close friend and a partner to Hack, a part of the family of Hack HPC, from Omnibond, where he'll be talking about Project Eureka, which is a resource that you'll be able to use while you're doing your research for the hack.
And a resource you should be able to use in your classrooms as well.
Exactly. So another very interesting one. So go ahead and push forward there for me, Charlie.
First. Brian, there we go.
There we go.
Oh,
so
wait.
before slight issue there. Slight issue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Charlie. Go ahead and fix it. I know you know me. So we're going to put in the right name here, what we call the right name. So this will actually be presented by the Dr. Linda B. Haley Hayden. Now, Dr. Hayden from Elizabeth City State University. She is a professor emeritus there. She is also very heavily involved with the SGX3 project. And for me, she's mama number 2. I love Dr. Hayden so much. She's been my mentor since I was in high school. I was actually able to go through her programs from, here's an old name for you, Doc, from the NERT, Nurturing Education Research Talent.
ESU Research Talent.
Yes, ma'am. So I was a part of that, on out to her Office of Naval Research and NASA. And she has touched so many lives in the education and outreach that she has done within the STEM fields, from computer science to mathematics to remote sensing to cyber infrastructure to high performance computing. So without further ado, I give you Dr. Linda Hayden.
Thank you, Jake.
Dr. Linda
Hayden. Got that recorded, right? We got all of that on tape.
I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to hand it off to you, Doc.
All right. So I'm going to start sharing with you now. Screen share. This is here.
We can see it, Doc.
Here, and I should put it into a full screen mode. Let's see.
There we go. Yes, ma'am.
Good. So welcome to day 3 of three. Okay,
Three.
day 3 of our pre-training for the Faculty Hackathon. I am delighted to bring you an overview of our Science Gateway Community Institute with a little bit of history, because we've been around for a while. And that's who's sponsoring this, who's supporting your efforts, both here and at the Gateway Conference, and we'll continue to support you throughout your efforts to upgrade your curriculum with HPC and Gateway content. All right. So we started with this original design back in 2016. And it, as the Science Gateway Community Institute, we had 5 major components. We had an extended development support team that was housed at Indiana University, where we had a cadre of Gateway developers who were available to, oops, what just happened? Let me go back. Who were available to, okay, to help our community members, people who were trying to establish gateways to support their research efforts. We could design gateways for them. We could help them maintain and update existing gateways through our extended developer support team. We had a software collaborative, a scientific software collaborative that allowed us to build software that would assist the community. We had a community engagement and exchange component that handled our conference and communications with the participants in our effort. We, of course, had our workforce development component that was housed at Elizabeth City State University. The community engagement and exchange community was at Michigan, by the way. And we also had an incubator that allowed us to develop new gateways. So that was our original structure. And these were the people, or are currently the people who are working with that Science Gateway Community Institute and SGX3 as well. Mike Zentner is our fearless leader. He's at San Diego. His right hand is Claire Stern. Many of you have heard from her, gotten emails from her about your registration and about your conference participation. Then there's Maytel. She's at TAC and deals and heads the software collaborative. Sandra was at Notre Dame. She's moved around a couple of times, but now she's working with US RISE. And there's myself, who leads the workforce development component. Nancy Marin does a lot of consulting for us on our blueprint and sustainability factory. And Paul Parsons at Michigan, who handles the UX work for us. So under that configuration, and with this team of people, we had some outstanding results. We had lots of webinar attendees. We had over 2,000 people participating in our events. We had 32 success stories, and those are gateways that were either created or enhanced using our techniques. Their science was accelerated. We had lots of focus week attendees. We acquired 13 affiliates. Consultants, consultations were 63 of them. We had well over 500 students and 41 faculty working with us at that time. We wrote letters of collaboration for new proposals, picked up 14 partners, picked up 1.3 million in additional funding with external projects, meaning these letters of collaboration meant that, you know, those people wrote us into their proposals and we were able to work with them in a better way. And we created a catalog of over 600 gateway entries. We were just excited about these results. We were very proud of them, but then NSF decided they didn't want to fund institutes anymore. So after a year of a planning grant, which was supposed to last until they got the new solicitation out for the institutes, but that didn't happen for 3 years. So after 3 years of a planning grant, followed by the actual institute funding, 5 years of that, and a year supplement, and then another 1 year extension. So a total of 8 years just as an institute, we had to restructure ourselves. There were 2 institutes at that time at NSF, and that was ours, Science Gateway Community Institute, and Molsey. So what happened to those? What now for Molsey and SGC-ED? Okay, I'm going to pull this window shade down with sun's in my eyes. Okay. Is it rest in peace time for SGC-ED? Is it rest in peace time for Molsey? They just decided they didn't want institutes anymore. Okay. So it was a time when we had to reconfigure ourselves. We had to remanifest ourselves. We had to essentially come up from the grave and come alive again as SGX3. Molsey, by the way, also got refunded as a center, but we reemerged from that experience as SGX3, determined to extend, expand, and exemplify good practices. This is officially a center of excellence to extend access, expand the community, and exemplify good practices for CI through Science Gateways. And we got a new award number, 2231406. In some way or the other. Next slide. All right. So what is the difference now? Because we really did not let SGC-ED die. We, through our sustainability efforts, were able to continue SGC-ED. But it is now, and I apologize for the text overflowing onto the other one. We were able to maintain SGC-ED, but it now lives on as a client-funded project. So people still pay us to develop their software, to develop their gateways, and to help them to maintain or improve their gateways. At the same time that SGC-ED is focused on building, SGX3 is focused on helping. So X3 is community focused, and it's workforce development focused, and it's future focused. And so we work towards preparing for the future in SGX3 as opposed to maintaining existing gateways or helping to create some gateways. So SGX3 is NSF funded at 7.5 million, but we're in SGC-ED is client funded and still maintains its heavy touch on consulting and other services, wherein in X3, we have a light touch on consulting. We still do it, but it's nowhere near as intense as it was under SGC-ED. SGX3 is focused on, again, community building activities, workforce development activities, and envisioning the future of gateways through our blueprint factories. Okay. Let me get one more. All right, so let's take a look at SGX3, especially the workforce development component, which is the one that is impacting you right now. The workforce development activities contribute to broader impact. We work with minority serving institutions and non-minority serving institutions, but we and organizations to bring gateway development into their curriculum by helping the faculty there, and to bring domain-specific gateways to relevant classrooms and research settings, and to help train faculty to scale those efforts to grow and live beyond SGX3. You notice the background that Charlie has and Jamie has shows a dandelion, and Charlie designed that because of we want to have a dandelion type impact on you and other faculty members. Dandelion usually has about 10 plants, and each one of those plants can have 150 to 200 different seeds. And so that one plant can generate up to 200 times 10 impacts. And that's what we're hoping will happen as a result of us working with you. Here in our faculty program, we build a supportive HPC and Gateway community for faculty within your institutions, and while providing you with training and the support to succeed. So our staff assists you in establishing accounts, which you'll get out of this training for your classes, and consulting with you throughout your implementation phase. And you will have to create an implementation plan so we'll understand how we can best help you. All right, so we have HPC, Science Gateway curriculum enhancing efforts. We have faculty workshops at ADME, symposiums, the annual symposium. We have faculty hackathons, that's what we're participating in now. We have poster sessions at our Gateway conference, sessions that are specially designed for faculty. And we have mentoring for our faculty as well. And the photo there shows some of the faculty from our last conference. You see Dr. Barry there, and Al Watkins, and who else you see there? Makita and Dr. K. And let's see anybody else that's here. Oh, Val Caldwell is at Winston-Salem State University. We had a community college, also community college faculty member as well join us, and Norfolk State University faculty members. And some of the mentors that work with them are also shown in that photo. As far as our ADME involvement is concerned, during the 2023 symposium, we were responsible for a number of sessions, a faculty session on Hackathon HPC education, Charlie Day, and Jamie Powell led that. And then we had student workshops on HPC and Science Gateway opportunities. We also had a faculty session run by Dr. Elijah McCarthy, who's at Oak Ridge National Laboratory. There were, on the right-hand side shows we had faculty sessions, HPC education, that's just a repeat, and professional development. We had a student session about the Access program for research computing resources for all by Miss Virginia Duke. And some of the photos there show the faculty who were involved in those sessions and those who were leading those sessions. We also have a coding institute, which the last week of which was a student hackathon. That was the ADME hackathon. So for ADME, we also conduct a hackathon for their students. We had 16 students who participated in the Coding Institute last summer, mostly computer science majors. It was a 4-week institute. Weeks 1 and 2 of the Coding Institute, we focused on building non-technical and basic technical skills. And week 3, we devoted to science, gateway specific technologies. And then in week 4, we had the hackathon for them. The hackathon was co-sponsored by some names that you've heard before, like Omnibond System, who's always been very helpful and supportive of our efforts. And then TAC, Amazon Web Services, was also a part of that as well. All of the projects that were conducted during the hackathon focused on UX. And so we pulled on one of our UX consultants, Ali, to work with the students and to serve as a judge for that event. Additionally, we had a professional development seminar speaker series, and Dan and Suzanne and Dr. Jackson talked to the students about their professional journey and gave them words of encouragement and suggestions for their next step. So it was a really intense 4-week experience for the students. And we do have another one coming up in 2024, Coding Institute. The dates are on the website for Science Gateway. So you want to encourage your students to get there. The application is not up yet. We hope to have the applications up by Thanksgiving. So around the end of this month, we should start to look for students to apply for both our hackathon and our Coding Institute, our admin hackathon, and our internships that I'll tell you a little bit about. Now, this is the internship information. The internships are hosted at TAC, and primarily this focuses on graduate students who are majoring in computer science or computer engineering. They're funded by SGX3 to join in with those TAC scientists there and getting involved in their projects. It is face-to-face. There is a stipend involved of $5,400, but I believe that's for 9 or 10 weeks. And we also support them with travel grants to present their research at an annual conference, either the Gateway Conference or Supercomputing, or I think some of them even presented at PERC this year. But we support them in that way as well. Our student programs, I said we have the hackathon, we have the professional development seminars and Coding Institute. We have a particular focus on participants from traditionally underrepresented populations. And these were the dates of our events during 2023. We also have a Rising Star Award. Now, under Science Gateway, we had young professionals. But both young professionals and Rising Stars are a way that we can spotlight the talent in our community and let others know that to look for tremendous things from these people that we're designating as rising stars and young professionals. Okay. And shown are some of the students from the hackathon and from the Coding Institute. And up top, upper right-hand corner, are the young professional awardees from last year. Now, this year, we will be presenting our rising stars during the conference dinner on Tuesday of, that's November the 30th, October the 30th of this year. And we'll also have entertainment and a dinner when we do so. So we really make a big deal of our rising stars and our young professionals because they are a big deal and they mean a lot to us. They also serve as mentors and supporters of our outreach activities. This slide shows the interns who were selected last year at TAC and the projects that they worked on while they were there. building mobile applications, working with the TAPIS team, and working on seismic computational platforms for empowering discovery. So that's the kind of experience our students get who are interns when they're interns and when they're in the Coding Institute. All right, so let me finish up by reiterating what SGX3 is and what it focuses on. These are our funded services, UX evaluation, design, and engagements, technology evaluation, and we also look at gap analysis for them, some architecture design. We have summer faculty and student internships. We have focus week activities for our community. We have sustainability coaching available, Summer Coding Institute, hackathons, Young Professional Program, which is now our Rising Star program. And in addition, we have a Gateway Central site for Gateway listing. And at a conference coming up, we're going to have a Bring Your Own Portal session where people can bring their laptops and set them up and show you the portals that they've developed, the gateways that they designed, and you can talk one-on-one with them. That's really going to be exciting. We also have an SGX3 on the road outreach component where we take our services to various communities. And of course, our conference series, and we'll be seeing many of you there. And we have a blueprint factory to help to develop future roadmaps for science gateways and serve new domain science needs. So that's our SGX3 that is developed alongside SGCI. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Hayden. I did want to put one more thing out there in case you were not keeping an eye on the chat. We're dropping links in there like crazy for the HPC-23 Hackathon, the SGX3 student programs, the Rising Stars Network, and the SGX3 interns, and the Science Gateway /portals catalog.
Okay.
I want to put a pin on one. If you remember, inside of your deliverables on your poster, there's a section there for resources, the U.S. Science Gateway specific resources that you would like to use in the classroom. I would highly suggest taking a look at that resources page, that sciencegateways.org/education-training resources, to take a look and see what is available to you. Of course, there are papers there as well as portals, but just putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any questions for Dr. Hayden? Oh, come on. Y'all are professors. You know you want to ask questions. So, Doc, I do have a question for you then.
Okay.
I'm going to start the tip jar here. In your opinion, this is something that everyone on this call is going to hear, but I know you have experienced it since the beginning. To you, what is a science gateway versus a science portal versus like a regular landing page?
Yeah. It's the difference is in the lies in the resources that are available in on that site. Gateways typically combine not just information like a typical web page would have, but it also has data sets, it has resources, it has tools, and so it's a glorified website, maybe. I would even say not just glorified, but truly enhanced way to combine all that you need to do your science and to enhance your work. All those resources are available there. So it's a difference in the amount of information, the number of tools, the data sets, and resources that are available.
Thank you. And I'll even add on to that. So for those of you that haven't used a gateway before, gateways to me are the easy on-ramp for HPC. Generally speaking, when you join it, and you're going to learn more about this as you're adding this to the classroom, if you haven't already kind of seen this, a lot of times people's first step into HPC, or at least it used to be, was a blinking cursor. That it's not something that, you know, fills you with joy and excitement, as opposed to going to a portal or a gateway where it may have Jupyter notebooks running there. It may have a version of Mathematica or MATLAB where you just drag your code in and it automatically runs it on a supercomputer. There are bioscience ones, there are physics ones, there are engineering ones like Design Safe, and the list just goes on for the vast number of ones that are out there now. I dropped another link into chat. That's the Science Gateways catalog. And you can see there are a couple of disciplines up there. This is actually going to be renewed, refreshed.
Yeah.
But
I
want to put it there.
Yeah.
Again, so in your poster, which Science Gateway resource you want to use. So, are there any other questions for Dr. Hayden?
Okay. Well, thanks for listening.
Yep.
Thank you,
I'd like
Dr.
to put in
Hayden.
a little add-in, something I tell our students about portals and gateways. It's all right, how many of you are like, at least I ask my students this, and we ask our students this, Jamie. How many of you have a PlayStation Plus account? How many of you have like a Xbox, Microsoft 360 cloud gaming system set up? That's a Science Gateway. That's a portal. You don't actually, especially with the Microsoft, you don't have to have an Xbox. You get this cloud account. You open up your computer. It doesn't matter how powerful your computer is, and you play all the games that Microsoft has without actually having to buy the equipment yourself.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we do with our Science Gateways. You can do all the research, all the science, everything you want to be able to do without having to have the equipment in front of you to do it.
I'm going to say 90% of the things you want to do, because you know some of y'all do some weird stuff.
All right. Well, okay, if you include the weird stuff, then it's only about 80%, right?
And I did want to say for Al dropping that in chat, as a reminder to please do add on your calendars that the ADME Symposium for next year will be taking place April 4th through the 7th, 2024. If you're able to go, wonderful. If you are able to go and bring some students, even better.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of the conferences we go to, those of you that do the conference circuit, a lot of times we can get lost in the sauce in some of those conferences. ADME is still a smaller conference. In Comic-Con terms, it's a ShmooCon. It's smaller in terms that your students can actually get some real skills, contacts, networking, and you as faculty members have the ability to actually talk and interact and create these interrelationships that we need in the field at that conference. So I can't say enough good things. And the fact that it's in Atlanta, it's the hub for Southwest, it's the hub for Delta. Not to mention, they have some amazing food in Atlanta. That's all I'm saying.
Atlanta fried chicken. My God, that was incredibly good.
Which fried chicken?
Oh, which one was that? I got it on my phone because I was going to go back. Let me go back to Atlanta for ADME. But yes, I have it recorded. I have it saved. Can't remember. I'll have to look through there, see what it is. But wow, that was good stuff. Oh.
And as far as in sharing the chats, so Charlie, I know that the chats are there on
Yeah,
they're
they're
on
on the
our
cloud.
Zoom hub.
Yeah.
So we may be able to accommodate that. But let me do some double checking before I say yes.
I'll find those out and see if we can post those. It's a great idea.
Right.
All righty.
Right. So with that, so Charlie, if you'll go ahead and bring back up the slide deck.
Yeah, I was about to. I almost click end meeting instead of share screen.
Whoa, dude.
That would've been-
Whoa. Well,
That
no.
would have been bad. It's like, good night.
So, oop, there we go. Of course, I'm getting.
All right.
So I get to introduce one more person. Now, Charlie is actually one of my coworkers. He is a person that, well, first he's our training director. He goes out. He actually finds both professional persons as well as those in academia, including students, education outreach, education outreach and training, and brings them in and teaches them HPC. He's been at TAC for a number of years. I believe it's over a decade at this point, isn't it, Charlie?
12 years. Yep.
12 years. For 12 years. But I have grown really close to Charlie, specifically because we're co-instructors for our Introduction to Computing course that we teach here at TAC, and well, for University of Texas at Austin. But then he got sucked in to the to the hackathons along with Dr. Hayden Wafai. He's been a quintessential mentor to students, had multiple winning teams. He moved over to the organizing side, and then he even made an offshoot called Codathons, which I'll allow him to tell you about. Let's just say you think hands-on tutorials are interesting. Wait till you see how Codathons work. But having said that, Charlie, I'll hand the floor over to you to tell us more about HPC-ED.
Thank you, Jamie. That was touching. I really appreciate your intro, man. Thank you so much. You're my brother from another mother. And Dr. Hayden's another mother.
Love
So,
That's exactly what I was going to say. The other mother is Dr.
you. Love you.
all right. So HPC-ED. This was an interesting journey to get here. All right. So as Jamie is the one of the co-PIs on this project. This project started with a simple conversation that Susan Meringer, who is the training director at Cornell, came up to me and said, "Hey, Charlie, I want to do this." And it's like, okay, so have you noticed that there's a problem that exists? Like, yeah, I've noticed this problem. I think you all have seen this problem as well. So let's start with that problem I came across as soon as my computer decides that this is the screen. There we go. All right. So HPC-ED, the idea is we're building a federated repository and increasing access to cyber training. The problem is computing technology are rapidly expanding into many different sectors. You know, things that we hadn't seen before are now really starting to absorb and starting to cradle HPC, as in social sciences. That is kind of new to the HPC world. History, economics, art. These are all starting to realize what HPC can do for them. Okay, great. So let's say I'm a social scientist and, you know, I need to know what this HPC thing's all about. And I'm sure you have all done this too. So I go to Google, and I'm going to go to Google right here on my other screen just to see how many HPC hits I get. So I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to say HPC. Well, actually, I'm going to type this. I'm going to type, what is HPC? And Google gives me.
Dearest Charlie.
Yes, sir. No, I'm not showing.
We're just seeing the slides. Just make make sure you know we're just.
Well, hey, let's not just see the slides. Let's see the actual hit. What is HPC? Oh, come on, mouse. There we go. What happens when I have too many windows open? All right. What is HPC? Okay, there's a bunch here. You know, there's more results. You know, inside HPC, Red Hat, Wikipedia, all these questions. There's a lot of information here. The problem is I'm willing to bet that if I click on any one of these, I'm going to get a different response every single time. So who do I trust? Where do I go to start? Where do I start my trip? Where do I start my journey? that's where HPC-ED kind of came from, is where do we start? So we go back to my screen here. And slideshow. So the idea behind HPC-ED was we got lots of hits. There's a need for all these people to access HPC training material, HPC education material that's going to help their research, help them do better science, help them do things. That demand is incredibly high, and the idea is we got to figure out a way of meeting that for that demand. So we that's what Susan came to me and asked me about, and so then I talked to Jamie. It's like, hey, Jamie, you are the perfect person, since here's the thing. There are lots of different communities. Every community has their own way of expressing themselves, has their own language, has their own terminology. So how do we meet this? One of the major up and coming communities is you all, is faculty members that are trying to integrate HPC into their current curriculum. So where do we start? So to keep up with this ever-evolving landscape of HPC educational and training material, we have to improve the way the community shares its material and the way community finds material. So that's our challenge. You almost kind of say that was our hack, our hackathon challenge. So we got to look at the needs of the many. So we're going to gauge what the needs of the HPC education and training community is. How do they share? How do they find? How do they build? And who are their stakeholders? So the idea is, well, we go to the stakeholders. That's you all. And we ask you all what you need. So the first thing we did, just to see if this project was even something feasible, or if these issues that we're having, these issues that we're thinking about, maybe it's just us. So we created the survey and we kind of handed it out to our colleagues and say, hey, could you answer this for us and see what you think? So I'm going to show you what some of those survey results are. So what we did, you can just kind of read the methodology, reviewed the questions with our focus group. We invited people from different communities to come and ask them and give us their input. And we got like 112 some odd responses, right? And those responses were showed us that 84% were some sort of they supported academics. These are like of everybody we responded. 71%, and they were allowed to, of course, choose more than one. There were grad postdocs and undergraduate communities. 37 were specifically selected. 84% are content authors. 61% are content curators, and 25% see themselves filling every role imaginable that we kind of put down. So we kind of broke things down and we asked them, hey, what kind of communities do you support? And so we have academia, graduate, postdocs, undergrad, government, pre-college, industry, others. And then we want to know what their roles were: content authors, curator, consumers, or consumers hosted by other organizations, or consumers hosted by just their own organization. And then somebody who just didn't quite fit. So we started getting the results of, hey, where do you see yourself? What's of everything you see, how easy it is for you to find material. 2 people said it was really difficult. 12 people said it was really easy. But these 42 people in the middle, they're the ones that are saying, you know what? It's awkward, essentially, to find material. Then, of course, well, how easy was it for others to find material? And same thing, we had 2 people saying it was easy, or finding materials for others. So if somebody knocks on your door and says, hey, could you give me a good resource for learning Python? It's like, oh, all right. So how easy was it to find? And then, of course, the other one is the importance of easy access to materials from multiple organizations. Meaning, hey, I'm going to go look at 12 different sites. Is there a way of curating it so I'm not repeating the same information from site A to site B to site C? And so how important is that? And so, 67 people said that was really important to have easy access to materials from multiple organizations. Cool. So that gave us a good feel on how easy or difficult is it to find stuff related to your science. Next, other questions we asked is, what barriers This was a good one. What barriers have you encountered when searching for materials? Number one, I can't find materials on the topic I need. I think everybody, honestly, it's to the point where the internet's grown so much that just doing a simple Google search isn't enough anymore. Kind of have to do a Google search and then dig even further. You can't find materials on the top. You can find materials on the topic, but not to the depth or level that you're looking for. Found too many materials and I can't sort through it all. Just like when I did that, what is HPC? I am aware of specific appropriate materials, but the search engines don't list them on the top results. Yep. And then 28 people have other stuff. And then, of course, we said, all right, you know what? We're going to be nice. We're going to remove some barriers from you. If we removed a barrier, which one would be the highest barrier removed? So you can kind of see from the results, the number one was I can't find materials on the topic and not at the depth or level I need. So that is your biggest barrier that you have. So if we took care of that, majority of people should be happy. And then the last one is my favorite. If your organization is not willing to or able to provide metadata, all right, about your material in a standard format, what are your roadblocks? So, lack of staff time, lack of funding, inadequate staff expertise, our materials aren't in a catalog, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I love about this last one? The reason I love it is because you can take that last survey and you can apply it to anything. It still makes sense. All of us just don't have enough time to be able to find what we're looking for. We don't have enough funding to fund the time so I can spend time looking for stuff. And you know what? We just don't have that collective knowledge built yet because we're up and coming and we're brand new and we're looking to integrate things in. So this is what we're looking at, kind of from a wide angle perspective of the desire to find your desire to make finding data easier versus ability to provide metadata. My favorite one is this guy right here. The ability to provide metadata, yes. Desire to find data easier, I'm good. But the 17 is where it comes down to. It's like, yeah, ability to provide metadata, yes, please. And desire to make data easier to find, yes, please. These are the guys who want to be able to figure out how to find their data and also want to be able to figure out specifically what's related to them. All right, so where do we go from here? We collaborate with HPC education training communities, meaning we built a good core at HPC-ED, but we have to collaborate with other people. We want to do is build a training community. You all, right now, are the first community that we're approaching to begin our journey together. We want to organize a bunch of these birds of a feathers meetings. Hey, you know what? Let's get all the social sciences who are dealing with HPC into the same room together so they can talk among themselves, figure out what it is that they're all collectively needing, and then have a couple people from these HPC centers to be there and just listen to what they're talking about. Something I've realized in my 50 some odd years of living is listening is important. I don't know, I can't provide you a solution until I listen to what the problem is. And sometimes that problem means just sit in a room quietly and let everybody else talk. And that's what a bird of a feather meeting would do. And then we have some community hosted training material services that we kind of start putting together to get the people in the room saying, hey, this is what we have, this is what we're looking for, and this is what we can provide. Okay, so this is what HPC-ED is all about, is discovering, identifying, and sharing the HPC computing training materials and making that easier. Currently, the environment is fragmented. We just did a Google search. I can go to any search engine and go there. But the idea is, hey, you know what? My best resource for HPC education might be my next door neighbor. I just don't know that yet. So maybe if we had some place that we can, get rid of the fragmentation and get rid of the challenge of navigating it and put it all in a nice environment, that is, I'm going to say, where the metadata is correct into what I'm looking for, the quality is assured of the documents and the training material I'm getting to, and there's a roadmap that I can easily follow that says, hey, if you want to do HPC, if you want to do HPC for your science, this is the roadmap of place of training materials and people for you to talk to get to where you want to go. And that's what we're talking about. Okay, but to get there, this is where some people I'd like to acknowledge and some grants that came into play here. You can kind of read through that. But to get there, what I'd like to do is and by the way, everybody's involved in this project. But to get there, all right, there we go. There's my screen. To get there, we need your help. The first thing that we figured out when we sat together in a room, when this group sat together all in a room, was even among ourselves, we have different vocabulary that we associate with different aspects of HPC and HPC education. So if it's, the 6 of us, the 7 of us had this issue, imagine if you put everybody in the same room, thousands of us, we're all going to have different language. We're all going to have different definitions and different categories and different connections. So what we would like to do, and this is where the mini hack comes in, we're going to have a little jam session. Okay, so there's a tiny URL, tinyurl.com/hpc-ed-kg42.
And I dropped it into chat for you.
Thank you very much, Amy. KG means knowledge graph. 42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. And that's exactly what we're trying to achieve here. So when you all get a chance, pop this site up and let's do our jam session.
So,
All right,
ladies and gentlemen, at this time, you have been pre-warned. Now is the time that we need you all.
So
to actually
those are,
deploy.
excuse me. So those are suggestions on how to move forward.
Yes, we're gonna. So what we like Charlie was saying, what we found is that we don't even have a vocabulary, a shared vocabulary in the community that we can agree on.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yes,
instead of,
I would, probably I can write it down, but last week I was in San Bernardino, part of CAEs. I don't know if anyone of you familiar with the cybersecurity CAEs, talking about the NIST framework. I'm very familiar with the framework, and the idea in the framework was to come up with a common terminology between higher education versus the industry, and the KSAs and tasks in that framework. So I think, I was thinking of the same. There is no common language, there is no common framework in HPC that people can basically connect with and make a standard. I would think something like maybe competency based. Currently the HPC, umbrella of knowledge is a good spectrum, and so there is a need to come up with that sort of a competency based education. And what is HPC, and what are the different knowledge areas? Today I was evaluating a paper submitted to an HPC conference, talks about the soft skills in HPC admins and researchers, and I was debating is this relevant or not to the call of the conference. It talks about the soft skills, which usually we don't see is relevant much to the research projects, etc. But I thought it is important. Soft skills, is so much needed in a lot of those HPC related activities.
and that's exactly why we're going to do it right now.
Yeah, exactly. So what I would
do
like
it.
you all to do, and I'm going to give you an example of how to do this. So this is a new thing that I came across that Google has called a Jamboard. The idea is it's a giant brainstorming session. We have 5 categories: cyber infrastructure, HPC, data,
Okay.
AI, ML, DL, and a blank one for categories that we have not named yet.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our first one, cyber infrastructure.
Just
right
to put this out there for everyone, in Kate, because I looked and I was like, how is he doing that? Up at the top there we go. There is a arrow, so right in the middle where you can switch between the various categories. Right now, we're starting on page 1 for category cyber infrastructure, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be interesting.
I don't know how this is going to. This is the first time I'm doing this, so we'll see how it works. I gave Dr. Hayden a heads up that we'll see if this is going to be working or not. So on your left, you see this thing called a sticky note. So if you click on the sticky note, add a word or a phrase that incorporates that should belong to a category of cyber infrastructure. For example, I will say computer hardware. All right, and I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to move my sticker. After it gets posted, we're going to move it somewhere on the board. So I see people are already writing it.
Oh,
These
good.
are great.
Good. Yes, this is exactly what we need. Wait, I'm going to do parallel. By the way, no judgment for spelling.
Yeah, we're a family. That's right. I should take that back.
That's what I was going to say. No.
We're a close knit family that we don't judge spelling errors. So let's spend I was going to say 2 minutes on each category, Jamie.
All right. I'm setting a timer over here. Actually, I actually have a physical timer that I use, but I'm going to do it this way. Set a timer for 2 minutes.
Yeah, feel free to scribble on the board too. Scribbling
2 minutes, counting down.
Let's see here. What else do I need? There was something I had. Oh. Now what? That one.
Oh, good one. Ooh, I got one. Of course, everybody sees what I'm typing. Gateways.
Oh yeah, that would probably that would be probably a thing.
EMD, firewall, science. Good one. I love that this is pretty much all random, and since nobody's actually using their Google account, it's all anonymous too. So the idea is once we're done with this, we're gonna save this board, and hey, we might even put it in our paper that we're writing for this project, and continue in. Software-defined networking, containers. Ooh, I got one. Containers made me think of I'm going to say, I'm going to say star as a service. Service. That's like software, platform, infrastructure, etc.
Oh.
Ooh, cybersecurity. Machine learning. Visualization. Wow. This is perfect.
Oh,
Databases.
Time.
Metrics. Blank as a service. This is fantastic, y'all. And also, feel free to repeat stuff too, because repeating means that it's important to many, many people. Storage as a service, really good.
Science DMZs, yes.
This is great. Still see a few ones coming in. Yeah, and feel free to switch the colors up, make it more pretty. But this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is great stuff. All right, let's move to the next category then. So up top, we see the little numbers up here, supercomputer. If we can move to the next category is HPC. Now, of course, there could be repetition from cyber infrastructure and HPC, because that's okay, because the idea is to build a knowledge base.
Can I move that? Nope, that doesn't work. Interesting. All right, let me know when you want me to. Oh, y'all already going. I'll set the timer. Set timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, counting down.
NDI, software-defined networking. That's awesome. Training. Very good. I'm gonna put one down. This management tool is great, Gray. I can see Jamie did that one.
Oh, who put Cray? I know that wasn't me. I might have been me.
Basic commands. Perfect.
Right, not Frontier.
Certification. Oh, that's a good one.
But we all have our favorites, Doc.
Hey.
Luster. Scripting. Whoops, not that one. You stay.
What is it? What is the name of it? I can see the sticker.
Slurm. Perfect. By the way, if anybody is curious on what some of these terms are that are going up there, let us know. And then maybe the person who put the term up there could give us a definition. Grants proposals. R. Well, if R is going to be up there, you know what has to be up there on my side? Icon. And C++. And my favorite, Fortran.
Well, in that case, if you're putting Fortran, I'm putting Beowulf.
Wolf is historic. So yes, Beowulf should definitely be up there.
All right,
Collab.
and we are at time.
Fantastic. You all are doing great. I'm loving this. Thank you so much, everybody. This is really, really good stuff. All right. We got a great list here. Supercomputers, cybersecurity, MPI, C++, Cray. Who would put Cray up?
Who could possibly have put Cray? Wait, is it behind something? No, let me put it in front.
Behind
There we go.
All right. Next.
Data. Oh
we have-
boy.
Ooh, data. That's an important one. And I'm kind of curious to see what everybody comes up with on this one.
That
You know what's
time
weird about data?
for 2 minutes.
I asked different age groups
Counting down.
of the same question about data, and we got so many different answers from different age groups. It was really cool. Jupiter, literacy is great. Sorry, I think I pulled that away from somebody. R. Okay, how come I've never seen a techno, on Talk Like a Pirate Day? I think everybody needs to code an R that one day.
Yeah.
How's that not a thing?
Just once.
So it's really interesting. Obviously, I'm going to assume that none of us are Gen Zers in this call. If there is any Gen Zers, my apologies. Or hey, at least you'll understand. When I asked my Gen Zer, group, a lot of them, phone data is what they all. My phone, there you go. Phone data is what they were all thinking. Like, what's your data plan? How much data can you use per day? So it's almost like it's some sort of a currency almost. Mojo. Oh, that's a good one. Public data sets, NFS. I'm assuming NFS, well, like National Finance Foundation or Network File System.
Network file system. I mean, if it was me, I would.
JSON's a great one. And I saw NoSQL up there, so I have to put SQL up there. I grew up, or my background is a database programmer. That's what I was doing before Come to TAC. So SQL has to be there. Apache Spark. By the way, don't erase those.
Right, time.
Keep the lines.
Time.
It's all good. File system, generous data, or heterogeneous data. Standards.
I like that.
I loved it.
Oh,
That's
I
a
didn't
good
think.
one.
Oh, I got to add one more on there. HIPAA.
that's a good one.
/ secure. There we go.
Nice.
All right.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Beautiful. This is perfect. All right. Ready for our next category is this is our final categories, AI, ML, and DL. And before I put anything up there, I want to see what other people put up. That's the point. Models. Very good. Ooh, ethics. That's a great one. I've not seen that yet. Neural networks.
Oh, why can't I think of I know what it is.
Sci-fi.
Get learn. There it is. That's what I meant.
Language models. Bias is a good one. That's perfect. MATLAB. Python comes back again. Training. I love training because that's a little ambiguous. Like training people to use ML or creating training data sets, as we were talking about yesterday's training session. Language models. Trust. Beautiful. Blank works. All right. I'm going to put one up here. Statistics. Linear regression. Ooh, I know. I said I wouldn't do this. I'm getting caught up in the moment. Categorization.
Did I start a timer? Hang on. Oh, let me start a timer. Sorry. Set timer for 2 minutes. Sorry about that. I started
Minutes.
typing and was going at it.
And that's the problem with hackathon. You start getting so into it. So this is something new for us. This is I think Jamie, you called it crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing ontology, crowdsourcing taxonomy. I'm not sure there's a better word out there. Decision tree, really good. Okay, robo-psychology. I'm not sure who put that in there, but that might be worth somebody unmuting a mic and telling us about it. Self-driving cars. All right, here's a big one. And I'm wondering if anybody understands why I'm putting this up there. Not G percentage.
Robo-psychology is a term coined by, I believe, Isaac Asimov.
Isaac Asimov. The three rules.
Trying to figure out how robots think.
Right.
Oh, good one. Yeah, it's been a long. I should probably revisit some Isaac Asimov novels, honestly.
That spelled that terribly. I'll fix it later. Oh no.
So I saw self-driving cars, and that made me think of 5G. Or at least I should say Star G. Text prompts. Oh, prompts. That's a great one too. Yeah. Auto AI. Everybody should check Auto AI out. Robot 3 rules. That I do know. Networks, data sets. Feedback is a good one too. Language. Saw a funny joke about large language models are.
There we go.
Big. Should do medium.
All right, time. All right,
really great. Okay, so this last one is any category, and that's why it's blank, no lines or anything. Any category that you would include as part of the HPC sphere that we did not cover in those 4. This one's a little tougher because I knew I missed one somewhere. Soft skills.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I completely agree. And because it is what it is. I'm just saying.
Hackathons. Another category I was just thinking the last time, grants. Yes. Workforce development. DEI. Oh, yes. That is very important. Good one, Jamie. Oh, that's right. I was going to put cyber security.
Barriers to entry.
Oh, that's a great one too.
Set timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Because you
1
know I
minute
forgot
and
to do
30
it.
seconds. Counting down.
Grant writing. Communicating science to the public. You all are just fantastic. Oh, so many of these that I didn't even think about. Yeah, reach out. Internet to access. Yes. K-12 outreach. That's a good one too. Professional organization. Community college outreach. Another one. Social justice. Beautiful. Identity management. Oops, sorry. I'm stealing people. Like equity. Non-STEM HBCUs. That's a good one too, Jamie.
Yep. That's it. Time.
It's time. All right. So, believe it or not, you all just took the first step for us to get our HPC-ED paper and grant on solid footing. So this is essentially going to be the groundwork that we're going to start our HPC-ED on. So thank you very much for your contributions. So honestly, Jamie, that's really all I had, was talking a little bit about HPC-ED and then running a quick little crowdsourced data and, well, words. I need some words. So.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Then in that case, go ahead and pull up our last slide here, Charlie. We are about 7 minutes until our normal time that we cut off. What I'd like to do is I'm going to end the video here in a moment, and then open the floor to any questions so we can have it wide open. I do want to let everyone know, first of all, Charlie, thank you so much for presenting the information on HPC-ED. Dr. Hayden, thank you so much for presenting the information on SGX3. Remember, SGX3, they're taking us to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think that's what I got. No, we can, no, in all seriousness, SGX3,
So,
please use the catalog. The catalog will, of course, assist you. I do also want to throw one other bonus bit of information in case you didn't pick up on it. The purpose of HPC-ED is for us to go out to all of the universities, the centers, even the vendors, and to catalog where their training information is. So it isn't one of those where we reach out and we have to bring everything to us. No, we want to reach out and find it, have it centrally located as far as in a search location. And then as you use it, you can actually note on it whether it was useful or not useful, if they needed a change, if the particular trainer was good or bad, or however it goes. So that way we have a good, not only source of information, but also some idea of how well it fits into your world. Having said that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end the video now. And our next session tomorrow, our actual hackathon kickoff, and we'll also have an overview of Project Eureka, which is an HPC resource provided by Omnibond that you'll be able to utilize. And then Friday, we get to meet the teams. So having said that, we'll end the video for today. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody for your contributions. Really appreciate it all.